What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. This is my Mk6 Escort van, which I recently purchased. Now there's one problem when I purchased this van, the fact that it didn't come with any service history. But thanks to our friends at Autodoc, we're going to be able to give this van a good old service and fit some more parts in this video. So, if you haven't heard of Autodoc before, they are Europe's leading online retailer for car parts. Now their goal is simple, providing high quality car parts at affordable prices, and that just sounds like a win-win to me. I've got these two boxes here that have been sent to me by Autodoc. I think it's only right we find out what's inside of them because we're going to be treating the Escort van to a bit of TLC today. Right, we're going to start off with this smaller box because I think we've got some exciting bits in here. Now it's very sunny today, we're getting a bit of a glimpse of what is around the corner with summer. So, what we've got here is some brake discs. I've also got some brake pads, and also I've got the shim kit. I've got two of them. So yeah, really happy with this lot. They're all Brembo as well, Brembo branded. Now not only do we have all of them brake components for the front ends, we do also have a full service kit. So we've got an air filter, we've got a fuel filter, oil filter, and we've also got 5 litres of oil. This is all branded as well. We've got Bosch filters, we've got Shell oil. So yeah, really looking forward to fitting these high quality parts to the Escort van. And also, I do have an exclusive coupon code for you guys watching that you can use on Autodoc's website. It's just Mk6 and you can get 5% off your whole order at the checkout. I'll talk a little bit more about them later on in the video. And that is the van all jacked up and just getting ready to drop out the oil. I got a bit of cardboard down just to protect the drive. I have, dare I say it, not put cardboard down before and missed. So yeah, always put a bit of cardboard down nowadays. Anyway, I've got a socket on the sump already because it looked like it was rounded off. What I had to do is I had to hammer that socket on, and I'm just gonna try and crack it off now. If not, I've got some easy outs. So yeah, we'll get it out either way. But let's hope this sets the precedent for the rest of the video and comes off nice and easily. We can only hope though, eh? Yes! Oh, no way. You can tell how tight I've got it on there because I can't even get the ratchet off. There we go. Oh, let's try and catch all this oil. Look at that. What a pro. Didn't even get my fingers dirty. Hey. Just as the final drips are coming out of the sump, I thought I'd show you. This is the old sump bung. And yeah, basically, this is completely mullered, but luckily, I keep the new ones in stock because, yeah, I'm always finding rounded ends on them old sump bungs. So yeah, got a new one here, new seal on it as well. So what's left to do? Fit the new one, and we'll get on with removing and draining the oil filter. Right, that's all tightened up, and as you can see, just up here, this is our oil filter. It's just one of them metal screw-on ones, so I've got my grips to take it off, and hopefully this won't be completely gunned up like some of them are, but we're going to hope for a double whammy here, and hopefully this just comes off as easy as the sump plug did. There's the old filter and the new filter, just lubricating the O-ring on that, and I'll get that screwed on hand tight. There we go. Not much left to do apart from have a little clean up. I've now tidied up all under the van and sprayed the areas that had a bit of oil on them just with a bit of brake cleaner. Now just going to go moving on to filling the engine up with some fresh oil. As I say, I've got this Shell 10 W40, and you can use it with diesel and petrol engines. But one thing I was really happy with is the fact that they're in these plastic bags, because Autodoc are based in Germany, and this just makes sure that there won't be any spillages on the way to you in the UK. Anyway, the Escort takes 5 litres, and I've got 5 litres, so yeah, pretty much bang on. Let's get it filled up. Let's move swiftly on with the rest of the service. So what I'm going to do now is replace the air filter, and hopefully we might be able to gauge how long since its last service by the state of this air filter. I'm hoping, I've got my fingers crossed, that it's fairly clean, but yeah, we'll find out. It's very easy to remove the airbox, just need a couple of screwdrivers, and we should have this off in no time. Right, one of these screws is completely rounded off, but luckily I've got a little bit of flex on the box so I can get the air filter out. Let's have a look at this then. I'll tell you what, that does not look bad at all. Probably been changed a year ago, maybe 2 years. Let's marry it up to the new one. Look at that, perfect. New air filter going in. Got to make sure it just sits nice and perfectly, because obviously we didn't take that other screw out. I've just done them bolts up for the airbox, but I'm not going to fit the intake pipe back just yet, because I'm looking around this fuel filter, trying to work out how to get it off. What I think I'm going to have to do is undo these 2 bolts for the bracket, and also remove the pipes, and then we'll take off the full unit, because I think this is going to need undoing from the bottom maybe. That's 1, that's 2. Hopefully this whole unit will come out. I'm hoping anyway. Might have a multi-plug on it maybe. No, there we go. Okay, so I've not actually changed one of these filters before, but looks fairly straightforward. You've got 11mm bolt, I think, that goes all the way through the middle of it. So let's just release that off and see if we can get this separated. Yeah, feels like quite a long bolt. Yeah, all the way to the bottom. Look at that. Ain't forgetting the washer, don't worry. Right, I thought the bucket was needed, seeing as all the fuel has just come gushing out. I need to separate this. There we go. Bloody hell. Wow. Let's have a look at this then. That's the importance of changing your fuel filter. Look at that. All of that debris. God, I've never seen it so bad in a fuel filter, to be honest. I work on diesel vans in my day job, and I've never seen build up like that in a fuel filter before. I am glad I'm changing this. Hopefully we can separate this as well. There we go. So that's your filter, just that bit that we're going to be replacing. There's lots of O-rings. We've got an O-ring there, got an O-ring around here, which looks like it's been pinched. Yeah, it has. Got another big O-ring, and we also had a tiny little one at the top. Out comes the new filter, and luckily we've got a brand new one, which is exactly the same, and it comes with all of the O-rings to suit, so very happy to be replacing all of them as well. I've just cleaned up the bottom part of the filter. As you can see, that's now very, very nice and clean. There's no debris left in there. Just using one of the new O-rings to slide around it. This should go in. Should do. There we go. Make sure it's sitting completely flat and flush. I think only now we're starting to see some of the parts that haven't been changed during a service. So I reckon this van's probably had an oil and filter most of its years, and also the air filter didn't look too bad. But these seals in the fuel filter are really, really perished, and yeah, well, they're definitely overdue changing. This outside O-ring on the top piece of the fuel filter is definitely seen better days, and this other one, well, it was clamped down weird, and as you can see, it's not even a circle anymore. It's almost like an oval. Right, I've just fitted the O-ring to the top part of the fuel filter housing, and I've just got this middle O-ring to change as well. Just plonk that on, get that whacked on, and then what I'll do is I'll put the bottom on as well. There we go. Now, all that's left to do is to fit this big long bolt, and there's a tiny little diddy O-ring that goes on there as well. That's the fuel filter now all changed, and I've just tightened up that 11mm nut at the top. So all that's left to do is refit this, and then I'll show you guys how I'm going to prime the pump. The fuel filter is now bolted on, and I just realised by refitting this induction hose I have just hidden the primer. It's just down there, and all it does, just got to press it. Just got to keep pressing it, and if it's like the primers that I've used on other vehicles, it will eventually go a little bit stiffer, and that's when the filter is completely primed. I just started up the Escort van, sparked straight into life. Very, very happy. I'm just going to let it warm up a little bit, and then we'll check the oil, and then we'll crack on with the front brakes because we've got loads of bits and bobs to change. Now, I just wanted to mention that Autodoc's product portfolio currently includes around 4 million parts from 1,400 manufacturers. I'm just going to show you how quick and simple the Autodoc app is to use. Simply load up the app, enter the reg of the vehicle, and we'll search up, let's say, oil filter for my van. Now, as you can see, you've got all these different manufacturers at the top. I'm going to choose Bosch and add that to my basket. Now, once I've added that to my basket, I'm going to go to the checkout, and where it says coupon, I'm going to enter Mk6. And just like that, we've got a cheeky little discount on our order. It really is that easy to use the Autodoc app. I will leave it in the first line of the description box below. Now, just a little personal note from me, I will never advertise companies on here that I'm not 100% behind. I've used Autodoc many times before and never been disappointed. So thank you once again, Autodoc, for sponsoring this video. Moving on, we've got the brakes and discs to change up front here. So let's get this wheel off and start stripping apart the front brake system. The wheel's now off, and as you can see, down here we've got a pin with a little clip. That's a little clip removed. Just going to use a drift to get the pin out. Right, so I've decided to leave the top slide on. It's got literally no grease on it at all, so I will be greasing it up when I refit the bits and bobs. Now, the pads actually had quite a bit of meat left on them, but it's the discs that I'm worried about. They're quite warped, you can feel it in the pedal, so yeah. We're going to get them changed anyway. I've just got a couple of 13 mils to take off the carrier. There we go. To remove the discs shouldn't be too hard at all. Hasn't got anything holding it on, so. There we go. In preparation for the new disc, it's like I always do, clean up the hub, get all this surface rust off. That's the hub now all cleaned up. I've got the old disc and a new disc here, just comparing them, making sure it's a complete match, and it is. So I'm just going to get this one cleaned up with a bit of brake cleaner, and then we'll get it on. Like a glove. I've just cleaned up where the pads sit in the carrier, so they're nice and clean now. I'm just going to get this bolted back on. Really is simple working on this old van. Right, so I've just put a little bit of slider grease on that top pin, and I've just got the new brake pads out. These are Brembo, same as the discs. I'm just going to put a tiny little smidge of copper grease on the ends, and then we'll get these two fitted. And these aren't sided or anything, so all 4 pads are exactly the same. That one don't want to stay in there. And all I'm doing now is just winding back the piston so it will allow the new pads to fit. Yep, that'll do us. There we go, look at that. And as I mentioned earlier, I've got a new pin kit, so here is the new pin and here's the new little clip. There you can see the brand new pin and the clip looking nice and fresh. And that is as simple as it gets really for changing pads and discs on this Escort. I'm just going to put a little bit of copper grease around this lip on the hub so it will prevent the wheel from sticking or seizing on in the future. And there we have it, pads and discs on the Escort van. Pretty simple. I've made quite a bit of mess around this side, so what I'm going to do, have a clear up and I'll crack on with the other side. And there we go, that is the offside front, pads and the disc completely changed, all done exactly like the other side. So there's not really much left to do now, apart from put the wheels back on. Last little job is just to check the oil level. Hopefully it's sitting somewhere nice. Right, give it a couple of seconds. There we go. To be fair, it's bang on in the middle, which is nice. Don't want it to be too high, don't want it to be too low. That is spot on in the middle. Happy days. Well, I thought it'd be rude not to come out and have a little road test, considering we've treated the Mk6 Escort van to a few new parts today. The brakes are just slowly bedding in. I don't want to give them too much stick just yet. Just nice and light with a brake pedal. And yeah, I'm really glad we've got that service done, because it's just peace of mind, seeing as I had no real history when it was last done. I'm definitely glad I changed that fuel filter, because judging by the state of that, it hadn't been changed in a few years. And I do just want to give another shout out to Autodoc for helping me with this week's video. Remember, install the app, get your parts and enter Mk6 for 5% off at checkout. Anyway, now that we've done some maintenance bits on the Escort van, I'm thinking we should treat it to something aesthetic. So please let me know your suggestions in the comment section below. There is one other thing, maintenance wise, that I need to do to the van, and that is change the cam belt. Well, it's actually got two cam belts, so yeah, we'll be doing that very, very soon as well. Anyway, if you did enjoy this video and you'd like to see myself and Autodoc work together again, then please give it a like, and if you like what you see, subscribe to the channel to see more. Thank you all for watching, and until the next one, I'll see you guys later.